No one expected her to survive the first test. She was human. She was quiet. And her weapon looked wrong. The camera opens inside a massive alien military academy. Different alien races stand in long lines. Tall, strong, advanced. Then, one human woman steps forward. Some aliens smile. Others laugh. Not at her face. Not at her size. They laugh at her weapon loadout. The rifle she carries looks old, simple, and heavy. No glowing energy core. No alien tech. Whispers spread. Primitive. Outdated. Human trash weapon. Even some instructors watch with doubt. She does not react. She kneels. She starts assembling her rifle slowly, calmly. Every movement is precise. Her name is not announced yet. She is just the human candidate. She checks. The scope. The bolt. The breathing space. Her face shows no fear. One alien cadet speaks louder. That weapon will fail. Laughter echoes through the hall. But she keeps working. Suddenly, the room becomes quiet. A senior instructor steps forward. He does not laugh. He does not speak loudly. He watches her rifle. His eyes narrow. He recognizes something others don't. The audience feels it. Something is different. The test is announced. Single long-range shot. Extreme distance. No correction allowed. Most alien weapons adjust automatically. Her rifle does not. She lies prone. Takes position. Breathing slows. The aliens wait for her failure, just before she fires. The instructor leans toward another officer and whispers, "That's setup. Only snipers use that." The officer turns shocked. The camera cuts to her finger on the trigger. Her calm eyes. Complete silence. Part 1, start. No one expected the human woman to last long. The training hall of the Galactic Defense Academy was huge and cold. Metal walls stretched high above, filled with soft white lights. Rows of cadets stood in perfect lines. They came from many worlds: tall reptilian warriors, pale thin aliens with long arms, heavy stone-skinned fighters, and others whose names humans could not even pronounce. And among them stood one human. She was smaller. Slower, they thought. Softer. Whispers moved through the room when she stepped forward. Why is a human here? This is an elite academy. She won't survive the first test. The woman said nothing. Her face was calm. Her dark hair was tied back neatly. Her eyes stayed forward. But then she placed her weapon on the table. That was when the laughter started. It was not loud at first. Just quiet clicks, low sounds, and strange alien tones that meant the same thing everywhere. Mockery. Her rifle looked different. It did not glow. It had no energy core. No floating parts. No smart link cables. It was solid. Heavy. Simple. One alien cadet leaned toward another and spoke loudly on purpose. "That weapon belongs in a museum." Another added, "Is that metal? Primitive metal?" More laughter followed. The human woman did not look up. She picked up the rifle and began to prepare it. Slowly. Carefully. She checked the scope. Turned it with small, exact movements. She adjusted the bipod and locked it into place. Then she touched the bolt, smooth and gentle as if the weapon were alive. Her hands never shook. Around her, the other cadets showed off their weapons. Smart rifles adjusted themselves. Energy barrels warmed up. Targeting systems blinked and calculated. Her rifle did none of that. An instructor watched from the side. Tall and gray-skinned, with sharp eyes that had seen many wars. At first, even he showed little interest. Another human would fail. That was the normal result. The test officer's voice echoed through the hall. First trial, long-range accuracy. One shot only. Extreme distance. No second chance. A large screen turned on. Far away, almost impossible to see, a small target appeared. The distance number flashed. Several cadets reacted with surprise. That far. Even with autocorrection, that is risky. Some smiled and glanced at the human. She said nothing. When her turn came, she moved forward and lay flat on the metal floor. She placed the rifle down and aligned her body behind it. Her cheek rested lightly against the stock. She closed one eye. Her breathing slowed. The laughter stopped. Not because they respected her, but because something felt strange. The hall was quiet now. Too quiet. One alien cadet frowned. Why is she taking so long? The human woman adjusted the scope again. Just a small turn. Then she stopped. She waited. Seconds passed. The senior instructor stepped closer. His eyes moved from the rifle to her hands, then to the scope, then to the position of her body. His expression changed. He had seen this before. Long ago. On battlefields where machines failed and only skill mattered. He leaned slightly toward another officer beside him and spoke in a low voice. That setup is manual. The officer blinked. So? The instructor did not look away from the human. So, he said quietly, only true snipers still use it. The officer stiffened. The human opened her eyes fully now. She exhaled. Her finger touched the trigger. The alien cadets leaned forward, waiting for the failure they were sure would come. She did not rush. She waited for the exact moment. Then, bang. The sound was sharp and loud, different from the smooth hum of energy weapons. It echoed through the hall. For a moment nothing happened. Then the screen changed. The target shattered. A perfect center hit. The hall froze. No one spoke. Some cadets stared at the screen. Others stared at the human woman as if seeing her for the first time. She stood up calmly. She picked up her rifle and stepped back. Still silent. The instructor finally spoke, his voice steady but heavy with meaning. This, he said, was only the first test. The human did not smile. She simply waited. And the academy would never laugh at her again. The hall stayed silent long after the shot. No cheers. No laughter. No whispers. Only the broken target on the screen spoke for her. The alien cadets slowly straightened their bodies. Some looked confused. Others looked uncomfortable. A few looked angry. The human woman stood still, holding her rifle close to her chest. Her face showed no pride. No fear. Just control. The senior instructor stepped forward. Next candidates, he said. The test continued, but something had changed. Every shot after hers was watched more closely. Every miss felt louder. Some cadets hit the target. Some failed. But none hit the center the way she had. When the trial ended, the cadets were ordered to stand in formation again. The human was placed at the far end of the line. Still alone. Still human. Still different. But now, no one laughed. Instead, eyes followed her. One reptilian cadet whispered, "That should not be possible." Another replied, "Her weapon has no correction system." "That makes it worse," someone said quietly. The instructor walked slowly in front of the line. His boots echoed against the metal floor. "This academy does not reward species," he said. "It rewards results." His eyes stopped on the human. "You passed." A soft wave of reaction moved through the cadets. "Passed? On the first trial?" That had not happened in years. The human gave a small nod. Nothing more. Later, the cadets were sent to the resting chamber. Long rows of metal benches and lockers filled the room. Groups formed quickly, aliens talking in low voices, sharing opinions. No one invited the human. She sat alone and cleaned her rifle. She removed the bolt, checked the chamber, wiped each part with care. Her movements were slow, almost respectful. Two cadets watched her from across the room. "She thinks she is special now," one said. "She will fail the next test," the other replied. "Everyone does." The next test came sooner than expected. A loud alarm echoed through the academy. "All candidates," the system announced, "report to Simulation Chamber 3. The room was different. Dark. White. Filled with moving platforms and holographic terrain. Mountains, ruins, long open fields, all shifting slowly. The instructor stood on a raised platform. "This test is not about accuracy," he said. "It is about patience." Some cadets smiled. Others adjusted their weapons. The human remained still. "You will be placed alone," the instructor continued. "No team. No support. Your mission is simple. Pause. Survive." The platforms began to move. Each cadet was sent to a different zone. The human's platform lowered into a rocky, open area with little cover. Wind howled through the simulated space. Visibility was low. Perfect for failure. Or for a sniper. She moved slowly. She did not run. She did not rush to high ground. Instead, she observed. She studied the terrain. The wind direction. The angles. She found a small ridge and lay down behind it. Far away, movement flashed. Enemy drones. Fast. Armed. Smart. Other cadets opened fire immediately. Energy weapons lit the air. Some drones fell. Others adapted. The human waited. One drone passed close. Too close. She did not fire. Minutes passed. Her breathing stayed slow. The instructor watched from above. His eyes followed her position. "She is not engaging," an officer said. "Is she frozen?" "No," the instructor replied. "She is choosing." Finally, a drone stopped at long distance, scanning. She adjusted the scope. Just once. She fired. The drone fell. Before the others could react, she shifted position. Quiet. Invisible. One by one, distant targets dropped. No wasted shots. No panic. By the end of the simulation, only one zone was quiet. Hers. The system announced, simulation complete. The cadets returned to the main hall. Some were injured. Some angry. Some exhausted. The human walked in last. Cling. Come. The instructor faced the group. You have seen enough for today, he said. Then he looked at the human. For the first time, he said slowly, this academy may need to adjust its expectations. Eyes turned toward her again. Not with laughter. Not with doubt. But with something new. Concern. Because now they understood one thing clearly. She was not lucky. She was trained. And whatever had trained her well. The respect did not last long. In the Galactic Defense Academy, skill was admired, but also feared. And fear often turned into hate. After the simulation test, the human woman walked through the long silver corridors alone. Her boots made soft sounds against the metal floor. Screens on the walls showed scores and rankings. Her name was still not displayed. Only a number. Yet that number was now near the top. Behind her, eyes followed. Whispers returned, but they were different now. She should not be above us. She is only human. Something is wrong. In the training command room, several senior cadets gathered. Strong. Experienced. Proud. One of them, a tall insect-like alien with sharp limbs, spoke first. If we let this continue, she will shame us all. Another replied, the instructors are watching her too closely. A third leaned forward. Then we test her where they are not looking. The next morning, the cadets were assigned to a night field exercise. No instructors nearby. Limited sensors. Live fire allowed. The rules were simple. Navigate the terrain. Reach the extraction point. Avoid being eliminated. The human was assigned a separate path. Alone again. The terrain was dark and broken. Ruined structures stood like shadows. Artificial fog rolled across the ground. Visibility was poor. Perfect for an accident. She moved carefully, keeping low. Her rifle was secured. Her senses were sharp. Then she felt it. Not a sound. Not movement. Intent. She stopped. Waited. 3 shapes moved in the fog. Not drones. Cadets. They were hunting her. She did not run. She moved sideways, slowly, placing distance between herself and the path. She climbed into the remains of a broken tower and settled behind shattered stone. She waited. The hunters moved closer. One spoke softly, confident. She cannot hide forever. The human adjusted her position. She had been hunted before. On worlds far from here. Where mistakes meant death. The first cadet stepped into her view. She did not fire. Instead, she triggered a small device. A flash. A loud crack. The cadet fell, stunned, his weapon disabled. The others panicked. Energy fire sprayed into the fog. She changed position instantly. A second cadet rushed forward. 1 shot. Non-lethal. Down. The last hunter froze. He finally understood. This was not a test for her. It was training. He turned to flee. She let him go. Minutes later, alarms sounded. Instructors arrived. The senior instructor looked at the fallen cadets, then at the human standing calmly with her rifle lowered. What happened? An officer asked. The human spoke for the first time since arriving at the academy. They followed me, she said simply. So I ended it. Silence followed. The instructor studied her face. No anger. No pride. Only truth. Later, in the command chamber, the instructor reviewed the recordings. She showed restraint, one officer said. She could have ended them. She chose control, the instructor replied. He stood and looked out over the academy. Prepare her file, he said. Full access. The officer hesitated. That clearance is rare. So is she. Far away, the human cleaned her rifle again. She knew this was only the beginning. Because now the academy understood something important. They could not break her. They could only learn from her. Or fear her. The human was called to the upper levels of the academy. Very few cadets were ever allowed there. The walls were darker. Thicker. Covered with old marks from battles long past. The air felt heavier as if secrets lived inside it. She walked alone. 2 guards opened a tall metal door. Inside waited the senior instructor. He stood with his hands behind his back, looking at a large star map glowing in the air. He did not turn when she entered. You were trained before you came here, he said calmly. It was not a question. Yes, the human replied. The instructor turned slowly. His sharp eyes studied her face. By whom? She was silent for a moment. Then she spoke. By people who did not survive. The instructor nodded once. He had expected that answer. He touched the star map. A red system lit up. This world, he said. Frontier zone. Long wars. No alien support. The human's eyes stayed on the map. That is where I learned, she said. The instructor changed the image. Old battle footage appeared. Human soldiers. Broken cities. Long-range engagements. Silent kills from impossible distances. You were a sniper, he said. I still am. He studied her rifle. No assistance. No smart systems. Only skill. She nodded. Machines can fail, she said. Breathing does not. The instructor was quiet. Then he spoke again. The academy is being watched, he said. Some species do not like what you represent. What do I represent? She asked. He looked directly at her. Human adaptability. Outside the room, alarms echoed faintly. Training continued below. But here the conversation mattered more. There is a mission, the instructor said. Unofficial. He waved his hand and a new image appeared. A hostile outpost. Hidden. Well defended. Our cadets are not ready for this, he continued. But you are. She looked at the image. No team, she asked. No. No support. No. She nodded. When? She asked. The instructor allowed himself a small smile. Soon. As she turned to leave, he stopped her. One more thing, he said. Why do you stay calm? She paused at the door. Because panic is louder than bullets, she said. And louder things die first. The instructor watched her leave. For the first time in many cycles, he felt hope. Elsewhere in the academy, rumors spread fast. Some cadets feared her. Others admired her. A few hated her more than ever. They did not know what she was being prepared for. They did not know that soon the academy would test not her skill, but her loyalty. And the galaxy was about to learn something dangerous. Humans do not need permission to be deadly. They only need a reason. The human prepared alone. No audience. No ceremony. No farewell. In a quiet armory beneath the academy, she checked her rifle one final time. Each movement was slow and exact. She adjusted the scope, tested the trigger, and secured her gear. The instructor watched from the doorway. This mission does not exist, he said. If you fail, we will deny you were ever sent. She did not look up. I understand, she replied. A small transport waited in the launch bay. No markings. No signals. It slipped into space like a shadow. Hours later, she landed on the hostile world. The air was thin. The ground was cold and sharp. The outpost sat far ahead, hidden between rocks and metal towers. Sensors scanned the area, but none looked low enough. She moved on foot. Slow. Careful. She avoided open ground. Used shadows. Waited when needed. Hours passed. At last she found a high ridge overlooking the outpost. Perfect distance. Perfect angle. She lay down and assembled the rifle. Wind speed. Gravity shift. Temperature. She calculated everything in her mind. Inside the outpost, guards moved confidently. They believed they were safe. They were wrong. Her first shot took out a sensor. Silent. The second disabled a turret. Precise. Panic spread inside the walls. She moved positions. Another shot. Then another. Each one removed a threat. No alarms reached space. No distress call was sent. When the final guard fell unconscious, she waited. Then she moved in. Inside, she planted a small device at the core. A data purge. No explosion. No fire. Just silence. She left the same way she came. By the time the outpost realized something was wrong, she was already gone. Back at the academy, the instructor watched the report load. Mission, complete. Casualties, none. Exposure, 0. He closed the file slowly. Elsewhere, unknown forces noticed the silence from the outpost. And they began to ask questions. About humans. About snipers. And about the academy that had allowed one human to prove a dangerous truth. That sometimes the deadliest weapon is patience.